All right. Anything else from SmackDown?
Well, you know there was, brother, to quote Gary Hart. Where has he been all my life, Javon Evans? I know where he's been. He's been in NXT. We saw Javon Evans. Why did we watch NXT? What happened that made us watch it?
Well, I've seen him a little more than you. It may have been when NXT debuted on CW. We watched it for like the first 2 weeks or something.
But there you go. And I know people online. Oh, Cornette will love, or not Cornette will love, but we love Javon Evans. What will Cornette say? And I haven't, I remember saying, well, he's painfully thin. And he's still painfully thin. But if they've had him in the program, and since then, I don't know how long he's been there at the start, but he's evidently a quick learner. Part of it benefited that he was with Sami Zayn, and Sami can work. We've always said that. But he had a tremendous performance. And I know you say, well, it helped it was in Orlando because that's where NXT is, but NXT draws, 200 people, and there were 10,000 in Orlando, and they were all going crazy for the guy. So it can't just all be NXT friends and family, can it?
It can't. I think he is someone who connects with the crowd, though. And some people knew who he was, and I think he won over other people by having a competitive match where at times it looked like he may, and you could even think about it and go, well, this could be a way to make somebody. But it looked like at a couple points he may win.
Yeah, and again, they had a good match in terms of building the new guy. And you see that they try to do it in AEW, but they just think that a regular match where they do all their regular shit, but longer, is the way to get a new guy over. This guy's answering the U.S. title challenge that Sammy's got out. Even though they bill him at 190 pounds, and bless him for that, he could use a Cheerio for a hula hoop. But, at least they're trying to bring some fucking credibility into it. I don't think he can weigh 190, but he can work. The difference here is they're not just doing moves. Technically, he was fine. He was there for everything. He didn't fuck up anything or botch anything. The timing, reactions, he had facials. His shit was sharp, but it was safe. He took great bumps, but he's got the leaping ability. He didn't rush. He's a beanpole with all the potential in the world. And it's a babyface match, and that's how Sami got a little babyface heat during the break, but the whole thing was built to feature him, as I said before, rather than just having a long, regular match. Evans hit a big dive on Sami at 10 feet out from the ring, from inside the ring over the top rope, and Sami was down the aisle. And a spinning kick and got a 2 count. And then they did some more shit, and then again, Evans foiled Sami and hit a Hurricane Run off the top rope and got a 2 count. The people are chanting, "This is awesome." This kid is foiling what Sami's trying to do more and more. They've built it at first to where Sami had control, but then they let him break out. And then they did a back and forth, and you thought, there's Sami's going to hit him with the kick, but he missed the kick. And fucking Evans hit the biggest Cody cutter ever. Like 10 feet above the top rope for a 2 count, and people started chanting, "Ref, you suck." They wanted him to beat Sami, but they were going crazy. And then Evans missed off the top rope and rolled up to come back, but into a kick, and then the Blue Thunder Bomb, 1, 2, 3. Sami won by the skin of his teeth against this guy because he underestimated him. They built the story perfectly. They didn't do a million high-risk things. They did the ones that mattered. They didn't use any furniture. They didn't bury the referee. Nobody looked like he almost broke his fucking neck and was paralyzed, but the crowd went ape shit. And obviously you still need to tune this guy a little bit. I wouldn't do the Cody cutter, no matter whether you call it a different name or not, 10 times higher and 10 times better than Cody is actually going to ever be physically able to do it. But he can do so many things. You hit the things, feature the things that he can do that nobody else can, and don't let anybody else do that. This is a guy that if I had him on the roster, then I would just say, okay, nobody else will dive out of the ring over the top rope on anybody. Because this guy's is the best and the rest of it's just bleh. And that gets this guy over. Or that nobody else is going to do the quadruple backflip, whatever the fuck this guy's shit is, because he's not just a trained circus chimp doing fucking moves. He's doing like, I can walk up here and balance myself and backflip off the top rope. But the other guy's got a weight on me, and it doesn't look like I'm mad about anything. I've got a blank look on my face. I'm executing shit that I've memorized. There's none of that. He's got oomph to him. So this is the guy that you then say, okay, this is going to be what gets him over, and it makes his size more palatable by giving him another superhero feature that nobody else has. And that's how you make something like that special. But it'll still stand out, but in a company where everybody is doing a variety of diving of things, it's not going to be as big of a fucking deal. But I like this kid. He's got it mentally, apparently. So, bravo.
Oh, wow. That's the highest thing you can get here on the show. The applause from you.
I clapped 4 times.
I believe he's young. I want to say 22 years old or something. And I've watched him in NXT. The fans have really gotten into him, and he's good. He's skinny, but, David Von Erich was skinny at the very beginning, and he never really filled out much from that point forward.
No, God damn it. No, wait a minute now. Put a picture of Kevin standing next to this guy. But here's the thing. I hope he doesn't gain too much weight, but he needs to gain some. If he could maybe in the appropriate ways and kind of gradually all over his body, he could put on 20 or 25 pounds maximum. Then maybe that, but if he gets too much heavier.
Okay, Dr. Zahorian. All right.
Well,
if you could just put on some mass.
Well, no, but if he gets too much heavier, he won't be able to do the stuff that that is unique to him, and or might accentuate the possibility of injury. But I'd like to see him, just for the sake of being able to knock something down, even flying at him, I'd like to see him another 20 pounds maybe, or whatever, all distributed around.
In general, but also specifically about this, what do you think of just the idea of bringing up someone who, for lack of a better term, is a top prospect in your company? He's young. People have started to notice that just about all of WWE's top guys right now are aging out or about to. They're getting older. Braun Breaker's a breath of fresh air. He's younger. So you have someone who, unless he's a head case, you could build on for the future, potentially. What's the benefit of, I guess the question's about just the idea you bring people up now and you beat them. Sure, they have long competitive matches, and this isn't the first time we've seen this with someone. They have a long competitive match, but they lose. Again, we don't know what the plans are for him, if it's to go back down or to stay up here, but what do you think of him losing versus him winning in a situation like this? Especially with the fans reacting the way they did.
Yeah, and see, that's why they are a little bit smarter over here and do things a little bit better so the people take them appropriately. This was a babyface match. The people like Sami, but they got behind the underdog. It gives a different And then Sami builds the whole match to feature the guy's big moves and to create the doubt where it looks like he's going to win. It looks like he's going to win. He doesn't even need the win at that point because especially then, well, he needs to be the U.S. champion from now on. But that's the kind of example of coming that close and just coming up short helps a guy. It wasn't that they brought this young babyface in, had him work with a heel, and after 25 or 30 minutes, the heel just beat him, and then you don't see him again. This is a way to show the guy's talent, but he's going to still not just debut at the number 3 draft pick at the top of the charts, but I would assume we'll be seeing more of him. It's just it makes sense. It's more logical to feature a guy in especially in a babyface match where wrestling is the key and there's no harm in losing to Sami because he's the experienced veteran, etc. But you can't. You can build around Javon for the future because he's 22 years old. But this incarnation of Javon Evans will not ever be the guy like Bron Breakker. We know that because, yes, he can be the next Sami Zayn, every bit as big as that, maybe even bigger, maybe the next Rey Mysterio, or he's going to be popular as a babyface with that level of athletic ability and that level of underdog charisma that he showed. But at the same time, who's not to say that a 32-year-old Javon Evans, who may or may not have hurt his knees by then, might have slowed down and stayed a little bit more on the ground and put another 30 pounds on and is really jacked up and becomes the next goddamn, Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart. Right now, we don't know because he is so young. But he's already, to me, ready for a upper mid-card position as a really exciting underdog babyface that can hang out around there for a couple of years and get better. And then we see what happens to him. But he's got all the time in the world.
Well, again, high compliments from you, and maybe at some point in the next few weeks we should revisit NXT. See who's currently down there on the farm.
Oh, God damn it.
See who's down on the farm and, just see what the future could be.
Every time that I say something nice about somebody, it comes back to bite me in the ass.
I'll make this easy for you. I will say that you should not watch any of the women's segments, only the men's segments of NXT.
We'll discuss that during the next show conference with the Arcadian Vanguard board.